All right, this last part of the lesson, we're going to take what we learned about solving by substitution and elimination and apply it to story problems. So we will be setting up our systems and solving them by substitution or elimination. Okay. So our first problem, a store is having a sale on jelly beans and trail mix. For 5 pounds of jelly beans and 3 pounds of trail mix, the total cost is $24. For 7 pounds of jelly beans and 9 pounds of trail mix, the total cost is $42. Find the cost for each pound of jelly beans and each pound of trail mix. So as we are working through this, whatever we are trying to find should have some type of representation in our variables. So for this, I'm going to use B to represent the jelly beans. And I am going to use M, because I don't want to use T, to represent the trail mix. Now we can use whatever variables we want. So if you want to just use X and Y, that's fine. Just make sure you are defining what your variables mean. And now we're just going to use the information in the equation to set up a system. All right, so here we have 5 pounds of jelly beans and 3 pounds of trail mix has a total cost of $24. So I have to rewrite that into a mathematical equation. So I would have 5b plus 3m equals 24. Okay. And then we have 7 pounds of jelly beans and 9 pounds of trail mix equal to $42. So this will be 7b plus 9m equals 42. So this is my system that I need to solve. So looking at that, I think it's going to be easiest to solve it by elimination. And I'm going to choose to eliminate the m's, because I can just take this equation times -3. So that would give me 15b, negative 15b, minus 9m equals negative, 24 times -3, 72. All right, so again, if I'm adding, that will give me negative 8b. That cancels. And then that will be negative 30. And then now to get b alone, we have to divide by negative 8. Okay. So that means that b, if I divide that, it doesn't divide nicely. So negative 30 divided by negative 8 is going to be 3.75. And it's okay in this context to get decimals because we're talking about money. So as long as our decimal is only going to the 100 spot, we're okay. And now that I have b, I'm going to pick one of the equations, substitute it in to find the other. So I'm just going to use this top equation. So 5 times 3.75 plus 3m equals 24. So if I multiply 5 times 3.75, that is 18.75. And then I'm going to need to subtract that over to the 24. So minus 18.75 minus 18.75. So 3m equals 5.25. And then now I need to divide by 3. So that means that my m is 1.75. So now when I give my answer, again, I need to make sure I'm providing labels. So for the cost for the jelly beans, that was my B value. So that is $3.75. And for the trail mix, that is going to be $1.75. So this is my final answer. Okay. Now again, you need to make sure you're defining variables and then clearly writing out your answers with labels for these kind of problems. Okay. All right, on the next one, we have a fruit company delivers its fruit in 2 types of boxes, large and small. A delivery of 2 large boxes and 5 small boxes has a total weight of 57 kilograms. A delivery of 8 large boxes and 3 small boxes has a total weight of 126 kilograms. How much does each box weigh? All right, so this one's going to be similar to our previous problem. So let's see here. I'm going to pick L to represent the large box and an S to represent the small box. Okay. So here, if I have 2 large boxes, so 2L and 5 small, that weighs a total of 57 kilograms. And then I'm going to have 8 large and 3 small, which is a weight of 126. All right, so looking at that, I'm going to choose to solve by elimination. So usually I use elimination every time, just because I think that's easier. You don't have to do that way. You can do substitution. Just keep in mind, if you are going to use substitution for these problems, you're probably going to be dealing with messy fractions. Okay. So I'm going to choose to eliminate the L by multiplying everything by -4 in that top equation. So that will be -8L minus 20S equals -228. All right, so cancels. That will give me -17S. So make sure you're paying attention to your variables. So I like to add little extra things to my variables if they look like numbers to help me distinguish. So if I take 126 minus 228, that's going to give me a -102. And then now I need to divide by -17. So the S is going to equal 6. Okay. And now I'm just picking one of these equations to substitute into. So let's see, I'm just going to use the top one. So this will give me 2L plus 5 times 6 equals 57. So 2L plus 30 equals 57. Subtract the 30. So 2L will equal 27. And then we have to divide by 2. So that means that L is equal to, let's see, 27 divided by 2, 13.5. All right, so now I just got to label my answers. So my large box, which was my L, is going to be 13.5 kilograms. And then the small box weighs 6 kilograms. Okay, number 3. A phone company offers 2 monthly plans. A plan A costs $24 plus an additional 13 cents for each minute of calls. Plan B has no initial fee but costs 15 cents for each minute of calls. For what amount of calling do the 2 plans cost the same? What is the cost when the 2 plans cost the same? All right, so when we are setting this up, we're going to have to do it in terms of Plan A and Plan B. So for the cost, I'm going to have C equals the 24 plus the 13 cents for each minute. And then for the second plan, there is no initial fee. So my C is just going to equal that 15 cents times the minutes. So with the way that I had this set up, so again, this was for plan A and plan B, my C represents the cost of the plan, and then M represents the number of minutes. Okay, so this is the system that I am solving for. So this time I'm going to use substitution, and because these are both solved for C already, I'm just going to set those equal to each other. So I'm going to have 24 plus 0.13 m equals 0.15 m. So I'm going to subtract the 13 over. So that will be 24 equals, and this should be 0.02 m. And then that means that we have to divide. Let's see, so 24 divided by 0.02, and I am using a calculator to help me. So that is going to be 1200 equals m. And now to find the cost, doesn't matter which one I use, so I'm just going to use this one because there's less work involved. So that's going to give me C equals that 0.15 times the 1200. So if we multiply those together, we end up with 180. Okay. So to answer the question, it is asking for what amount of calling do the two plans cost the same? So that's going to be the 1200 minutes. Okay, so the plans cost the same at 1200 minutes. Okay. And then it says, what is the cost when the two plans are the same? So plans cost the same at 1200 minutes. And then the second part, they cost, that's going to be my C, which is $180. So this answers both of those questions. All right, next one. Suppose there are two types of tickets to a show, advance and same day. Advance tickets cost $25 and same day tickets cost $35. For one performance, there were 65 tickets sold in all, and the total amount paid for them was $1,875. How many tickets of each type were sold? Okay, so that tells me, so I'm going to use A to represent the number of advanced tickets sold. And I am going to use S for the number of same day tickets sold. All right, so looking at this, we have something dealing with the number of tickets being sold. So if I'm just talking about the number of tickets that are going to be sold, we would just take how many advanced tickets plus how many same day tickets. So that would just be A plus S equals 65. And then here for this total, we're talking about the amount made for the show. So that means I would take how much the advanced ticket costs. So that's the $25 times A, and then plus the $35 times the same day tickets. And then that's going to equal the 1,875. So this is my system that I am working with. So I'm going to choose to solve this one by substitution. So I'm going to solve for A. So that means I'm subtracting the S over. So A equals negative S plus 65. And then I'm going to substitute that into this A. So I will have 25 times negative S plus 65 plus 35S equals 1,875. Okay, so distributing, so negative 25S, and then 25 times 65 is 1,625, plus 35S equals 1,875. So I'm going to combine my S's, and at the same time, I'm going to subtract the 1,625 over. So if I combined, that will be 10S. And if we are subtracting, that is going to be 250. And now I'm dividing both sides by the 10, which means that S is 25. So I sold 25 of the same day tickets. So now I'm going to take that and I'm going to substitute that into this spot right here. So I would have a negative 25 plus 65. So that's really just negative 25 plus 65. So if we combined those together, that will be 40. Okay. All right, so to answer the question, how many tickets of each type were sold? So for our advanced, let's see, that was 40 tickets. And then the same day was 25 tickets.